Hello and welcome to this movie review we're in now. I am standing and it's actually quite awkward. So a few minutes in this movie, my butt was already clenched so hard it started caving in on itself. That's how pumped this movie was. Buybust is a 2018 Filipino thriller movie directed by, I would go as far as to say, king of thriller movies of the Philippines, one and only Erik Matti. He's the mastermind behind other thriller films such as On the Job and Honor Thy Father and so many much more. And knowing his portfolio, we did not pretty much expect something like this before. First off, let's talk about the director Erik Matti. He's a visionary director. Everyone pretty much can yell cut or action, but this guy can turn a film into a masterpiece. I've seen Honor Thy Father before, and he definitely knows his shit. He definitely knows how to play with the audience emotions. That's why I was pretty much proud to say that he's the king of Filipino thriller movies, because he was. And I was not surprised that this movie would do well, but I did not expect the movie to be this adrenaline pumped, you know? So the plot of the movie revolves around the perspective of Manigan, portrayed by the marvelous and beautiful Anne Curtis, a PDEA agent tasked to take down a drug manufacturer. So, if you haven't caught up with the spell yet, the movie tackles about the war on drugs. Personally, I fear the backlash that may or have already expressed towards Erik Matti, because this is such a sensitive topic for everyone. My fear is that some people may see this movie as a political and biased film, but that's not the point of the movie. That's not the point. The point of this movie is to showcase the side that's not really shown in the news and the real victims, which are the innocent ones caught between the crossfires of the police and the drug people. So that's why I gotta give props to Erik Matti, because he's brave, he's bold, he can turn a tragic topic into an ecstatic masterpiece. I'm not really gonna dive deep into the story because this movie deserves to be watched fresh and with a virgin mind. And trust me when I say, don't bother buying snacks. Now let's talk about the casting choices, which was just excellent. I would say that it's an ensemble of cast, all pure talent and no bullshitting around. They were just perfect for their own roles. So before I continue, I just want to say that one of the main problems I see in Filipino movies nowadays is that the movies and directors adjust to what the actors or actresses want or what they can do. And that pretty much hinders the director's vision or the artistic vision towards the movie. But no, definitely not in this movie, because everyone in the cast were capable of doing what Erik Matti had in mind. And Curtis really had to have a fire at her back. It was also Brandon Vera's first acting gig, and to be honest, and I'm not even sure yet that if Brandon Vera was dubbed for a better Filipino accent. That just shows how flawless the movie was. And I have nothing but respect for Anne Curtis, Brandon Vera, Mara Lopez, Victor Neri, and Arjo Aytaide, and so many much more. And they were cast based on their appearance and appeal, which contributes a lot to their characters' personas. Let's talk about the technical aspects of the film next. First off, the sound. Erik Matti and the sound director really knows how to do a thriller movie, and you can tell that by when you're suddenly hearing a deep humming sound. To add more thrill to it, they sometimes put in radio chatter, a panicking talk over the radio. It just makes you grasp on your cinema seats because you don't know what's gonna happen next, and they really know how to do that well. Have you also noticed that if you have not watched the film yet, there's a behind the scenes, but if you've watched the film first like I did before watching the behind the scenes, you would wonder, where did they manage to film this in Manila, in a slum area in Manila? Because personally, I think it would be dangerous. But as it turns out, the whole set, the area was just built from ground up. So we gotta give the production designers Michael Espanol and Roma Regala for creating such realistic backgrounds that really contributed in making the movie as claustrophobic as it can be. And it was so realistic that you can, as an audience, you can somewhat phantom smell the environment there. The second thing that I find problems with Filipino TV shows or movies nowadays that's based on modern time is that they somewhat speak as if it's still the 50s. In this film, they managed to be as modern as they can be while still being poetic. It was just really refreshing to see or hear strong curse words out loud by these characters, and it was honestly the first time seeing Ann Curtis say the word puta or something. And the last line of the movie had me going I really tried to be civil and not biased towards this film, but there's just not really a flaw I can point out in this movie. I really wanted to thank all the cast and crew in this movie for giving us such a milestone of a movie that pretty much created their own genre. They really abolished the norm of action movies wherein it stars a male lead and the women are just usually the eye candies. As we all know, there are two political sides in this country, the red and the yellow, but genuinely come in the theater as neutral as the movie, because there's the third side that everybody don't see every day. For my ratings for Buybust, I'll give 2 Damon tokens for its music, 2 Damon tokens for its screenplay, 2 for its casting, 2 for its production design, and 2 more for its significance. Plus 1 more since Erik Matti replied to my Facebook status praising Honor Thy Father way back. He's a really cool guy, he's a relatable guy. For a total of 11 out of 10 Damon tokens as my rating. So that's it for my review and thoughts on Buybust. Do comment and tell me what part of the movie you like. Who are the characters you like? My personal favorite is Brandon Vera's Rico Yatko, and with his lucky charm, it was just a bottle cap, and that's it for my review only here on Let's Review. Alright, before we end our review in dedication to Buybust and even with a heavy heart, for the sake of your entertainment, I decided to show you our old homemade shitty film we shot way back. Just a heads up warning though, this short is pretty terrible and mediocre at best, and it is intended that way. Take note, we were just lousy teenagers when we shot this, so I am fully aware of its poor quality. So for laughs and in honor of Buybust, here it goes, our short film called Drug Bust. Enjoy! Ay, may report daw na may drug house dyan sa may Pulang Linya. Alam ko, ulit sabak ko pala sa operation na to, pero tanong ko sa'yo, ready ka na? Let's go.
namin, maganda sa reporter nyo.